Hey guys, this is 236 Ruben here, and today I'll be breaking down and giving my thoughts on the Ghost of Tsushima gameplay demo. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So, the first thing that we get shown is the exploration segment. They show us the map, which looks very similar to most RPGs nowadays, with the question marks and settlements. I don't really mind this map, but my only worry is whether the question marks will be overwhelming, like in games like The Witcher 3 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where it could feel too much like ticking a checklist opposed to actually exploring the world and enjoying it. But how they explain things later on in the Ghost of Tsushima demo makes it seem like it'll be more promising. In the pause section, we have the journal, gear, techniques, and collections, just like a normal RPG. I wonder how these things will look like later on, and I'm interested in finding out more. Next, they show us a very cool mechanic called the guiding wind, which will guide us to our objectives and might reveal other things that we could find in the world. This is honestly a very good innovation, and I'm glad that small details like this are implemented. We can also call our mount from anywhere, which is nice and convenient. Next, they show us that we can collect bamboo and other type of resources to craft just like most RPGs, which is nice and convenient, I guess. Random wildlife can also attack us at any time, which means we have to be alert at all times. I just hope it isn't like in AC Odyssey where you could be just riding your horse to a location and a boar just comes out of nowhere and knocks you off and then just ruins your whole flow, and then it's just inconvenient. So I hope it's not like that, and the boss in AC Odyssey could sometimes one shot you, so I hope it's not the case here, but I'm sure it won't be because this game is looking like it'll actually be good. Next, we get shown mission objectives that we can get when we arrive to a location. It's very similar to the old Assassin's Creed games where we could get optional objectives which can be good and bad depending on the circumstances, because sometimes it could be just restricting and it's not a good thing. So I hope it's not as restricting in this game. We will also have to observe our environment very carefully, as it could lead us to help people in need, like how they describe the smokestacks and birds, which could lead us to this. This is honestly a very good mechanic which will make exploration much more meaningful, and I'm excited to see it take place. We also have random encounters that can take place at any time in the world, which makes the world feel more alive and it helps us be more immersed in the game. We can also explore abandoned buildings for supplies, which is a mechanic I really like in games like The Witcher 3, The Last of Us, and many more. Next, they show us that foxes can lead us to shrines, which will help us unlock unique upgrades. I really love how they use the environment to guide us to things like this. In conclusion, the exploration looks very promising along with the open world. I love how we have to use the environment to get to our objectives, and I'm honestly very excited to explore this very beautiful open world. So moving on, they show us combat as Jin the Samurai, which looks very good. We have a very cool mechanic that allows us to stand off with our enemies, which helps to add to the samurai feel of this game. The combat looks different from modern RPG games, where in modern RPGs, the enemies have more health and it takes quite a while to bring them down. Ghost of Tsushima seems to focus more on pairing at the right time, while watching your enemies' movements closely to open them up for attack. I like this style of combat, and I'm really excited to test it out when the game releases. I've never really enjoyed the combat where the enemies were damage sponges, as it just makes combat tedious. I've always preferred a system like how it looks like in Ghost of Tsushima, where the combat looks more satisfying and requires more skill. Next, they show us combat as Jin the Ghost, which is more stealth based. We can use firecrackers to lure enemies into an assassination, which could lead to a chain assassination. I gotta say, Like Ghost of Tsushima is starting to look like the Assassin's Creed in Japan that we never got. We can also use smoke bombs for unseen attacks, and we can use kunais to quickly finish off an enemy. I also like how some enemies fear you, a small touch but a meaningful one. We also have a grappling hook to make navigation easier. So overall, the combat looks very interesting and satisfying. It looks like it works very well and is very smooth. I can't wait to see more of this in the future. Now let's talk about customization. It seems that customization will not just be for aesthetic purposes, but for combat purposes as well. The customization looks very vast, and we can also equip charms that we get from honoring shrines to boost ourselves for specific combat purposes, which is a good and helpful feature. I also like how we have to find specific flowers to make our suit look a certain way, as it encourages us to explore the world more. Overall, the customization looks very good and deep, which I like, and I can't wait to see the amount of options we will have once the game falls on our laps. Next, they show off the photo mode, which I can't wait to use with this beauty of a game. Most of the features like the depth of field are already present in most photo modes, but I love the new feature where we can add fireflies and change the type of leaves and change the direction of the wind. It's a very nice feature which will make for some very beautiful photos and a lot of possibilities that we can make up. We can also add music in the photos for videos, which we might want to make in the future, which is also another nice option to have. Overall, the photo mode is looking like it's going to have a ton of options to play around with, and I can't wait to test it out. Another nice feature that we can use is the Japanese voice track, which will really help with immersion, and overall it's just a really nice feature to add. And finally, we can also have a cinema setting put on for the entire game, which is a cool and unique feature I've never seen before. I don't think I would use it right off the bat, but I'm sure I would use it if I was going to have a second playthrough. So from what they have shown, all I can say is that I'm very hyped for this game. The exploration and the combat interest me the most, and I can't wait to dive deeper into it in the future, and I'm excited to see how the story is going to fold out. What are your thoughts on this demo? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comment section. And with that being said, this has been 236 and Ruben signing out.